My name is Emily Cotton, C-O-T-T-O-N, and my mom is Pam Gerdts.
And how old were you? Your mom was in the crash. How old were you when she was in the crash?
I was 14 years old.
Did you get along with your mom?
Yes, we were very close. Yes.
How so?
I was the oldest, and she was a single mom, and I had a younger sister, so we would, hang out like girls, and so we were very close. And as a new teenager and new things happening, it was something that my mom and I worked out, beautifully. She and I trusted each other very, very much, and she encouraged me both academically and extracurricularly, and so we worked beautifully together. I think I may be remembering things in a more beautiful way than possibly it occurred, but I don't ever remember fighting. I don't ever remember disagreeing with her. I just have great memories.
Can you say the same about your sister? Did you guys get along?
We are very close. We're only 2 or 3 years apart. It was hard, I think, after my mom was gone. She saw us as unique individuals, and really tried to strengthen our relationship and encourage the differences between us. When she wasn't there, I think my sister got a little bit lost, and I felt like I almost had to replace my mom in many ways, and that's really hard because there's no way I could replace her. And she didn't expect that, but I felt like that might have been something I needed to do. But she and I both realized very quickly I couldn't do that, and so it made things tough for us.
You think that's normal for any kind of older sister to take on that role when a parent passes?
I think so. I do. I think the oldest sibling probably does feel like they need to start taking on those responsibilities, even though I think in most cases it's not necessary. So, a mother can't really ever be replaced even by a stepmother or a father, as much as they try. You just have to learn to get support from other people. But, we try to work through that, and it eventually I think has brought us closer, but there was some tough times for a while.
Let's talk about the day of the crash. Did you guys live in Colorado Springs at the time?
Mm-hmm, we did.
How long had you lived in the Springs?
Almost 6 years.
So you had friends and stuff there?
Oh, definitely,
Okay.
Definitely.
Why was your mom on that flight?
She was on a business trip, a very rare business trip. In fact, I don't ever remember her being on a business trip until that time.
What did she do?
She was a computer programmer. She worked with TV and radio stations regarding programming. Huh. So I don't know exactly what the reason was that she had to go on this trip, but there was one trip that she had to go on, and so she took that weekend to go down to, I think, Dallas it was. So
does that bother you? To know that she didn't take a lot of business trip and this just happened to be that one?
It doesn't bother me, and it really has never bothered me. I always knew every time they asked her to do a business trip, she always said no. She couldn't. I was the oldest. I was 14. I couldn't take care of myself and my sister at 10 or 11. So I know that she always said no. And I know that there had been a pretty good reason for her to go on this trip. And I don't blame her work or anything. I have discussed with her bosses and everything. They felt pretty guilty. The fact that they told her she had to go on this trip and that she went and something like this happened, there's no way anyone could have known. But I know there are people feeling guilty. What if we hadn't? What if? But
you don't blame them at all. You don't have any.
I've never
feelings
blamed anyone. I've never blamed anyone, especially people she worked with. And I know that there are individuals that feel very, very guilty about it. And I hope they don't feel it anymore. I've talked to them very briefly about it, and I don't blame them. I don't blame any of that. I think everyone has felt a little blame in something like this, especially something that has no explanation and you can't control. So, but
it's what a lot of people say. When you get onto a plane, you really surrender a lot of control.
Mm-hmm.